Okay, welcome to Digital Marketing Planning, Module 2. What we're going to be looking at here, this is the syllabus. We've got the aims and objectives here. Basically, the aim is obviously online marketing has evolved from a peripheral element of organizational marketing to one that is a hub of customer-centric communications in an increasingly multi-channel environment. So basically, we're looking at the fact that we're marketing through lots and lots of different channels to a very sort of customer-centric hub, which means that basically our customers are looking at more and more information all the time. There's more and more avenues that we need to be actually spreading ourselves across to actually catch our target market. We're going to be looking at fundamental digital marketing planning concepts. So we know that 95% of companies fail in their digital strategy because of lack of planning. Factors involved in the implementation, measurement and evaluation of successful campaigns. So we're going to be looking at all the different ways that we can look at measuring and evaluating. We've done a lot, obviously, when we talked about Alexa, Google Analytics, things like sproutsocial.com. And this unit explores environmental factors that influence e-marketing planning and strategic processes, various e-business models, similarities and differences in traditional and digital marketing. I'm going to post an article in with this video, which is all to do with 10 advantages of digital over traditional marketing, which will be useful for you, that I wrote this week. Permission and consumer concern around privacy, trust and security. So we've probably seen and heard a lot about things like cookies. Now, just to give you kind of an overview of what that is, when we talk about what a customer's behavior is, basically it logs a little file for each time someone goes onto a page, every action they do. And things like Google Analytics use this to track the behavior. And some of you may have websites with cookies disclaimers and things on there, and you may be asking people to say, yes, I want to go ahead or not. If you have a look at the CIM website, classic example, they've got a little section at the top displaying obviously about the cookies. So if you're not sure obviously what it looks like, go onto the CIM website. So what's going to be the learning outcomes? Well, we're going to look at, you're going to be able to appraise different planning approaches and marketing environmental factors. So all the different things that are going to influence your online marketing activity. We're going to review the similarities and differences between the online marketing versus traditional, which is a key thing really. Discuss key stages in online development using relevant business models. Analyze, which is very important, looking obviously at the metrics. Analyze ways in which the internet has changed the marketing mix elements and how organizations employ them creatively. So that's a very key stage really, how things have evolved and how the change in obviously things like consumer behavior has impacted, and also the ways that the different ways that we can market, how that has impacted on the marketing mix. Reviewing the importance of target marketing and the emerging buyer behavior characteristics of the online consumer and how organizations can respond to meet changing behavior and expectations. Apply relevant tools and concepts to design, measure and monitor an online marketing plan. So really this section is going to look at being able to put all the different sectors in and all the different strategies that are available to us digitally and how to deploy them, and most effectively I suppose one of the things we need to look at is, once you've done the campaign, how you use the metrics, and that's going to be very important in terms of planning the next stage of your digital plan. So I'm just going to flick through. The syllabus has got all this information in. What you need to do is check through the syllabus, make sure that you read each line, tick off all the ones that make sense. Anything that doesn't, you can use the learning community to ask me questions and ask for more information. So element 1, online and traditional concepts and applications. Customer focus. So looking at the importance of acquisition, retention and loyalty. The importance of word of mouth in the world of social networks. So things like reputation management, user-generated content. And identifying target markets, researching customer needs and developing mix for target audiences and select strategies and tactics for the chosen market. So basically, one of the key things that we're looking at in digital marketing is a shift in consumer power. and how this affects the online experience. So when we talk about things like customer behavior, how does the impact of the internet and the way that we now search for things impact on how we market our businesses? The other way that the other thing that we've got to look at is how to look at choosing how we're going to market to the target market. If you're going to deploy any form of sort of planning into it, you need to look at the process you're going to use first. So this is a very, very key slide here. This is something that's going to be coming up again and again. And this is called Strategy Framework. So in short, it's called SOSTAC. And this is basically looking at what are the strengths and weaknesses in your process. So this is a generic framework for e-marketing planning. So this is a really good structured plan. And this looks at all the different elements. So SOSTAC is obviously made up of the key words in the middle. You've got situational analysis, objectives, strategy, tactics, actions, and control. This is something you'll have to really kind of get into your head, plan through and use in obviously any form of e-marketing planning. So it covers obviously situational analysis, where are we now? So it gives you all the key different things here. So things like goal performance, customer insight, e-marketplace, so that's your SWOT analysis, brand perception, internal capabilities and resources. Then we've got where do we want to be? So what are the objectives? So we have things here which we call the 5 S's. We've got sell, serve, sizzle, speak, and save. This is a slide that I really suggest that you kind of spend some time looking at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this into the community with the article so that you can obviously print this off. It's an important one to have in your files and refer back to. When we look at strategy, how do we get there? So segmentation and targeting and position. OVP, so which we've talked about a lot, online value proposition. So we're going to look at a lot of OVP tactics today. We've got sequence, so credibility before visibility. Integration, so consistent OVP, so if someone's found you in the search, that it's obviously if they click on that they get the same consistent online value proposition when they land on your website. So tools, web functionality, email, etc. So the tactics, the actual specifics of how you're going to get there. So the e-marketing mix, including the communications mix, social networking, what happens when, details of contact strategy, campaign initiative schedules. Then the actions, the details of tactics, who does what and when and whose the responsibilities. Is it going to be internal or external? And the control, how do we monitor performance? So in the last session, we looked at KPIs, key performance indicators. So what we're looking for is the 5 S's plus web analytics equals your key performance indicators. So what we're looking to do here is test how the shopper's experience is. So again, coming back to the customer journey, but also taking it a stage further for not just the journey from when obviously they buy. So what we're looking at here is acquisition. Then we'll be looking at things like retention and loyalty. So what happens once they actually buy? And also looking at site visitor profiling, frequency of reporting, and processes of reporting and actions. Now, another one here, this is RACE, a digital strategy framework. Again, this is a slide that I think is crucial. This is something that I'll upload into the community for you. Now, this is a digital marketing strategy planning tool. So what we're actually looking at here is RACE stands for Reach, Act, Convert, and Engage. So this takes you through the acquisition, the retention, and the loyalty. So again, first we look at situational analysis. How well are we using digital marketing now? So looking at audience and customer analysis, competitive benchmarking, online partner analysis, own digital marketing review. Objective setting. Which goals and KPIs should be using? So what's your mission and vision, and what's your goals, KPIs, and what's your web analytics? Strategy. How can we achieve our goals? Segmentation and targeting, positioning and value proposition. Very, very important. So that's coming back to your P's that we looked at before, things like price and position, how maybe your products and services is going to be displayed on your website, etc. Engagement and content strategy. So how are we going to get people to engage with us? Are we going to use things like social media, etc.? Integrated communication strategy. So obviously, what sort of comm strategies are you going to be using? You might be using multiple channels. Tactics. Which digital marketing activities do we optimize? So reach, which is all about building awareness on other sites and in offline media and to drive web presences. So you have all your different options down here. Then we have act and convert, achieve conversion to marketing goals such as fans, leads or sales on web presences and offline. So again, we're looking at things like homepage design, effectiveness. So this all links in with your customer journey. So when you're looking at what happens when someone goes to a search engine, how your business is portrayed and how easy you are to find. This takes obviously to the next step, which is what we look at when someone lands on your website. So what, search and browse page efficiencies, what happens when they get on there, what's the behavior, and looking at things like conversion funnels, and looking at analytics, and maybe using Google to see what happens, and things like basket and checkout efficiency. Is there a lot of abandoned cart? Is there a lot of bounces? Engage, build customer and fan relationships to encourage repeat visits and sales. So things like content marketing. Content marketing is the nicest, cleanest, and most positive search engine optimization through organic marketing. And basically, as we keep referring to, just think about content marketing as buying real estate on the web. Every time you have a presence somewhere else that links back into your site. So it could be content marketing, it could be a form of blogging. A lot of people will be setting up blogs, and as soon as you put content out there, that piece of content is portable. So you publish your content, you might go back onto your blog and then share it across all the different platforms. It could be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Delicious, Pinterest, whatever, Stumble Upon, whatever you're using. So you publish it, and it's become obviously present on your blog, and obviously people who follow your blog will see it. It's obviously now in the search engines, which will be good or bad depending on the keywords content in your body and also in your headline. Once you share it, obviously on your social sites, then it's now available in lots of different places. And what we're looking for with content marketing is we want pickup, we want online interaction. So we want people to either share it or we want other industry blogs to pick it up and publish it. So content marketing is a really nice strategy. E-newsletters and promotional emails, so we know that that's a really effective form of marketing, and social media has really bridged the gap with building nice, clean lists. So perhaps marketing things like landing pages through maybe your Twitter account, so they come to a landing page, they can sign up and download something. Event-triggered email marketing, well, things like Office Autopilot, Infusionsoft, we've got HubSpot. There's loads of different types of ones out there at the moment. The key thing with event triggered is it really takes consumer behavior a stage further. Customer service and support. So we know a lot of people are putting things like Twitter into their strategy because we're sort of 24/7 consumers. We want instant. People are already turning to social media to communicate with obviously their brands that they're interested in. Website personalization, so things like pearls. One of the things that on our landing page, if you go onto our website and you click on free guide, once you actually register for the free social media guide, you'll see that the URL at the top is personalized, which is called a pearl, P-U-R-L. A pearl basically then allows us to track that person's behavior as they come back onto their site. Social media marketing, well, two aspects of that. Obviously, being on social media sites is great for your organic search engine optimization because you're piggybacking on their success. But the other thing is having things like social media within your sites. So going on to things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and having share options on your site so that content on your website can be instantly shared with anyone's network on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook or whatever. Also, maybe embedding links and interactive plugins and widgets. So displaying all your Facebook fans or your current sort of tweets or Facebook posts and things on your website. So people don't have to go to the platform itself to engage with you on social media. Today's agenda, 8 steps to review and define organizational digital marketing strategy. This is a key slide. Again, this will be one that goes into the learning community. And these 8 steps are really important. So understanding your digital audience, set smart objectives and tracking, use the RACE framework to set targets, audit marketplace performance, creating engaging online value propositions, visibility and traffic, digital channel integration, how to bring all those multi-channels together, improve site conversion, and last one, customer e-communication, so things like retention strategies. So keep thinking all the time about acquiring and retaining and the loyalty. Digital marketing success factors. Well, digital marketing strategy is a channel strategy informed by insight on customer channel behavior and marketplace activity. So things like your intermediaries and competitors. Objectives for future online and offline contribution should drive your strategy. So you need to look at how much you're going to be doing online versus how much offline. Channel strategy thrives on differentials. So you need to manage channel integration. So digital marketing strategy defines how we hit our channel leads and sales targets, improve efficiency of acquisition, conversion, and retention. Prioritize audiences targeted through channel and communicate value of using digital channels. Deliver relevant experiences through a content or engagement strategy. So what we're looking to do is really pull those 3 things together. So when we're looking to acquire, convert, and retain, these are all 3 things that we need to be looking at. We're not just looking to acquire. We're looking to obviously take them to the next step and convert. But most importantly, we need to engage with current customers and people who have already bought to retain them. So, understanding audiences you're targeting. You need to understand how your audiences will interact with you. So it kind of depends on your market. So it's a bit like selecting a channel like Facebook. If you're a law firm, you might think, well, Facebook's not really for us, but it could be that you're in a quite niche, part of the law that you think, well, maybe the demographics on Facebook would suit. So you need to kind of do a bit of social listening. Now, what I would recommend doing is go and find out where the conversations are happening and what your target audience are currently doing. Easiest way to do this is go on to Google Alerts. What I would recommend doing is set up your Google Alerts so that you can see what is happening now. So set up as many as you want, and every day you'll get an alert to where that conversation is happening. So say, for instance, I have a Google Alert about my own business because I want to see what is happening within the search engines about my business. This is a really good tool to see how you're presenting yourself within search engines. Put your competitors in, see what they're doing, how they're appearing in search engines. Put in industry keywords, so I might type in social media or digital marketing, so I can keep abreast with what's happening in the industry, where the conversations are happening for my industry. So case study here we've got eye2eye.com, multiple channel businesses with a significant proportion of leads. So this is basically a company that has kind of refined, obviously its target markets. 4 key markets are UK and Ireland, US, Europe, Australia and New Zealand. And it's basically sort of marketing courses during a gap year, and 15,000 trained annually online or at weekends. And they use a full range of digital channels integrated with call center sales. So when you're collating all of your information, what we're looking for is things like your online value proposition. Does it meet your target market? So their customer profile is 54% is 18 to 24. So they understand the demographic of obviously who they're looking to appeal to. And one of the things that we're looking to do today is looking at personas. Quite often, when we look at pulling people onto our website, we imagine that that is just one person, and quite often we put it into our own head of, right, okay, that's our customer journey, we get onto the website, this is what we want them to do. But we forget what we're actually trying to do is we're maybe appealing to lots of different personas. Now, a persona could be, if you've got 3 target markets, you might have 18 to 24, 25 to 54, and 55 and over. So those are 3 different people that you have to appeal to, and completely different demographic. So your online value proposition has to be engaging to all 3 personas. Your website has to be engaging to those personas. So when we're understanding customer search intent and preferences, one of the things here is, if you have a look at what we call the Google Agency Toolkit, use a Google keyword tool for gap analysis. Find out, obviously, using things like Google Alerts, blog search, hot trends, opportunities tab, YouTube insights for your audience, insights for search, trends for websites, ad planners. This is a really good tool that I would recommend really kind of using. So whether you're planning a strategy, developing creative solutions, implementing targeted plans, or proving performance, you'll find all the tools that you need within there. So you've got plan, create, place, and measure. There's a link at the bottom that you can follow for potential software, but this is a really good one to kind of get you going and start using metrics to understand where you are now, doing a bit of social listening, and finding out what your demographics are and the keywords and things that you could possibly implement. So one thing that is often missed out on a website is getting our users to actually tell us what they like and what they don't about the site. So taking the onus off of us trying to find gaps and trying to get them to tell us their experiences. So you can use feedback tools and things like 4qsurvey.com, and you can find out obviously at which point, did they like, did they not. So we've got some intent tools, and there's a link at the bottom here. So you've got things like bad website, difficult to find, item as no search box. Well, instantly you can then stick a search box on. I can't find any prices anywhere. Would you like to see? Would like to see where I can buy products from. So getting your actual users to feedback could just bring you some really key insights. Getting site and business innovation ideas through user voice is another one here. Getting people to kind of feedback to you. So how can we improve our training courses? This is what they implemented. So they've got little suggestions here so people can feedback on the specific of the products. Now, having those sorts of feedback mechanisms is great market research. Again, things like LinkedIn, getting testimonials and recommendations through there. As much as it's nice marketing, it's really useful market research. And using LinkedIn to go and request 200 recommendations will give you a really, really good basis of what's working, what people like, what is, the perceived key selling point. Often businesses come up with their own, and quite often they're missing the point of what is actually, the instant need and the key thing that they're actually looking for. So these are 2 things. This is about obviously looking at your web, but also, and most importantly, looking at your products and services too. So don't forget to think outside the box. So when we look at here, we've got product growth across the bottom, market growth up the side. So you need to look at your existing markets and existing products, existing markets and new products, and then we need to look at new markets for the existing products we've already got, but also new markets, new products. So have a look at how this fits in, and quite often just drawing these 4 boxes out and looking at what you're doing, because you could have the best website ever, and the website could be really functional, could be really interactive, people might really love the website, but if your product proposition and online value proposition isn't correct and people can't understand exactly what it is that you're doing or you want them to do, then you're not going to have a successful site. Now, be it an e-commerce site, a service site, etc. There has to be some sort of call to action. Now, when we look at call to action, it's really important to kind of look at the different personas, and I'll keep coming back to this. So we need to look at online customer targeting options, so targeting approaches and the methods. So we've got things like classic profile-based demographic segmentation. Now, that's just basically target customer groupings according to their characteristics and motivations. So we probably have a pretty good understanding of who our customers are. But why not do something like use SurveyMonkey? Send out a survey and find out from them what it is they would like from you. The thing is you only need one really good sort of suggestion for your website or your products and services that can be tweaked and changed and have a massive impact for you. Customer value. So assess customers by current and future value proposition potential. So when we look at our customers, one of the things that we talk about a lot is any business has three objectives and three objectives only. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, what your products or services are, but we're all looking to increase customer base, average order value, and purchase frequency. And when we look at setting our digital marketing plan together, those three objectives have got to be in there, because at the end of the day we want to acquire, we want to retain, and we want to create loyalty. So that process links in with those objectives. And we need to find out, obviously, for the customers we've got, how can we possibly look at things like upsells, like purchase frequency, average order value, and utilizing our customer base. Often by creating more products for the existing market, that can obviously be little bolt-ons to increase that they purchase again, or having, we know that people who sell things like warranty or insurances, they can bolt that onto products and service. Web design personas. Well, normally target 2 to 10 typical customer journeys. Now, this is quite a lot, maybe 10, but I would say maybe 2 to 4 would be ample. Have a look at the different demographics of your customers and then try and understand it from the different personas that you're going to be appealing to. If you're marketing to over 50s, what they might be searching for is slightly different. If you're marketing to a business demographic and a consumer demographic, you need to make sure that when they land on the site that you have different online value propositions for those personas. Customer lifecycle, target messages according to length of time using online services. So your customer lifecycle, how long are they normally with you? Do you have a customer that typically just keeps coming back every year? Do you sell a product or service that's renewable? Is it something that it's a one-off purchase, but they can maybe upsell other things? You need to look at all these different things to kind of like look at the level of marketing you want to be doing. So you should be able to kind of understand that your objective might be that we want to increase our customer base by 10%, and then suddenly you start getting your KPIs in place. Purchase and response behavior. So use sense and respond behavioral targeting. Now what this basically means is when there's obviously a purchase and response behavior, it could be that someone has to maybe purchase something, maybe on a free trial. And what would happen then is you've kind of pulled them in, and then you're maybe looking to upsell to them later. So look at how the purchase happens and what response is needed, and are they interacting? How are they using the product or service? Can you understand that from them? Is it something that's monitorable online? Is it something that you have to maybe follow up afterwards? Channel preference. Well, by using things like Google Alerts and finding out where the conversations are happening for your demographics and industry sector topics, you start getting a feel for which channels are going to be working best for you. Tone and style preference, communicate with customers according to their tastes inferred from demographics of behavior. So we need to kind of look at, the different personas. Maybe we'll communicate in different ways to different personas. And if someone comes back onto your site, does it recognize them from last time? Does it tell them things they looked at last time, etc., etc.? So this is an example from eBay. This is layered segmentation. Now, they've got recent to static. Oh, I've just gone one slide ahead. So they've got basically here all the different sort of recent activity things. So this is what happens on their website. So when we look at things like recent activity, so last purchase, last category looked at, keyword personas. So sometimes websites will display different information based on different keywords. They've got different category clusters. So again, the category for kids is marketed very differently and displayed very differently on their site. So you can start to see how businesses can actually segment using the different personas, and they can start putting in things like categories and different sections on the website that markets correctly for that persona. Targeting customers based on value. So Good customers, very good customers, average customers, and one-time shoppers with low potential. So it's things like recognizing a good customer that's bought from you before and saying, "Hi Janice, thanks for coming back. Here's all the last things you looked at. Here's some things we recommend." Amazon is a very good example of how they do this. And indicators for quality, for customer quality, and indicators for customer potential. So having a look at this information here, so order value per received catalog, order value per season, gross margin, returns, and percentage of order value. Looking at last date of purchase, number of active seasons, channel usage score, and number of different product categories. So how many things do you have to sell to your customers, and what is the potential? So that when you start breaking it down and looking at how your customers actually have purchased from you, you start understanding the different personas. So you might have a collection of people who buy every year, and maybe they buy seasonally. So you can start looking at the different sort of design elements of each persona. So we've got things like ethnographic researchers averaged basically that there was $10,000 to 100 eye views for 8 personas. Now what that basically means is if you look at all your sales in the last year and break it down into types of businesses and then into buying behavior and spend, you start being able to kind of really link back to the personas and those 3 objectives. Persona, so this is an example here. We've got a first-time buyer, we've got a part-time mum and a single mum. So this is a B2B example, and basically for each persona you can define preferences for the platform, so the web, the email and the mobile. So basically if you're marketing to maybe the younger version or the single mum, you would create different emails for those people. Platform usage, so how often are they going on things, what sort of devices they're using to get onto your site. And things like Google Analytics will tell you your demographics, how long they spend on the site. Content consumption, general site types and category specific. So designing your site to have little areas that will appeal to different personas is a really great way of effective marketing. Social media, content creation and participation, search behavior, and things like trusted brands. So this is one for Dulux. You can see here we've got Penny in the middle. Lives with Ben, sales assistant, age 27. Got lots of ideas, all the different sort of consumer behavior of things that they like and all the different preferences. So then they look at the home page. So Penny comes to the site and dives into the color area of the site because that's what she really likes. Then she goes to the color picker and Penny starts to try and find the color that she's going to get in her head. So what color she really likes, so she's trying it out. So she likes the interactive side of things. She sees a link to the article about urban lifestyle. So she clicks through to that. So basically what they've done is they've appealed on Dulux's website to different personas and the ways that we look at things. Some people might just want to go and have a look at a quite specific color that they've got in their head. Some people might be looking for inspiration. Some people's way of choosing and purchasing might be based on seeing a full project, like a little case study. Practicalities, some people might just want to look at the logistics. What's the paint made up of? How does it work? Etc., etc. So they've already started appealing to the personas of the different people. So think about the personas of the people visiting your site. What do they want? And different demographics of people will like different things. And you can use page views. So if you've got a very popular page on your website, have a look at the demographics of people using that and why they're visiting, what's on there. If you apply the same principles of that page onto other pages, would it work? How social are your audience? So having a look at, obviously, the different ways that they interact and things on Facebook is really good. Having a look at what sort of blogs are out there for them is great. Having a look at how successful your blog and the readership, etc., etc. So you've got creators, conversationalists, critics, collectors, joiners, spectators, and inactives. Some people will just not be interested in the social aspect, and that's fine. Some people will be really active and they will want to really engage in your blog, etc. Now, some sites have even taken it a stage further where they allow people to upload their own projects. Like Dulux did a competition where they wanted to do like a grand designs project and reward people for uploading their projects and things, and that's great engagement and getting people to promote their brand and do user-generated content. So targeting by life cycle personalization, typically used in things like event-triggered marketing. So what happens is like Tesco.com, you've logged in, and you've got things like purchased active, purchased inactive, purchased once, registered visitor, newly registered visitor. So they've got all these different types of people, and then they look on at how they're going to trigger marketing on the back of it. So it's, hi, I've just had a look back at your account and noticed that you haven't ordered anything from Wiggle for ages, okay? So what happens is then there's a trigger that will notice if someone hasn't logged on, someone hasn't visited a page, someone hasn't done this, etc., etc. So when you set sequences, it could be that it triggers for someone's fourth visit every time that they go onto the specific product. So it's really, really useful. One thing you can do is have a look at engagement scoring. So leading the way in specialist marketing is all sort of linking in with pulling together different personas, different ways of marketing to them, different ways of marketing to them through things like event trigger marketing. So let's have a look here. You can, when you start looking at the buying behavior, you can start looking at the recency. So you can start putting people into different sort of benchmarks for your company. So you might want to market to someone who hasn't bought for 24 months differently to someone who's bought recently. So this is one for a theatre. So they've got recent one-sirs, rusty one-sirs, very rusty one-sirs. So they've basically created a strategy based on how often someone has attended the theatre. Step one, summary. Basically what we've looked at is understanding the digital customer. So one of the things that we're going to move on to now is profiles, differences to other platforms, needs and preferences, go into this a little bit deeper. So define objectives and create optimization system. Well, basically our journey started more than a decade ago. So we've got things like early adopters, people who are very engaged with digital marketing, and people who are quite used to using, obviously, social media, etc. And what happens is the way that we've evolved is our consumers have evolved too. It's not just the way that we market, it's because the way that we're marketing differently to them. So Dell.com has really sort of readdressed their strategy, so to be the technology e-commerce leader by offering the most relevant experience and solutions to drive high customer loyalty. So what was the online analytics, testing and targeting? To become an innovation engine through insightful analytics and the best-in-class testing capability to enable constant and rapid changes. So when they started looking at how they're going to pull it all together, well, this is basically how all the information that we've talked about goes into a plan. This is the relationship of objectives, strategies and performance indicators for the B2B company in order of priority. So this is the sort of thing that you need to start planning out. So you've got your objectives on the left, and then we've got the use of our sort of SWOT analysis and insights to sort of start putting a plan in place to take it through strategy to achieve your goal, then onto your key performance indicators. So have a read through this slide. This is one that I'm going to put into the community. But this is basically like a real life version. So how you're actually looking to integrate your online marketing strategy based on all your findings. So when we look at reach, act, convert, engage, what we're looking to do is ways of attracting visits to your site, engage with site or presence, excuse me, convert to leads. When we look at convert, we're looking at convert to sale, and then engage, developing long-term customer relationships. What I'd like you to do in the community is start looking at different ways to reach, act and engage, etc. So when we look at reach, we're looking for performance, we're looking for refers, using things like Google Analytics to see which is our top referrer. Looking at engaging, we're looking at time on site, bounces, etc. We're looking at how our Facebook group or Facebook is working for us, newsletters, sign-ups. We're looking at all these different ways. So when you're looking at engaging with people, engagement strategies on maybe social networking sites, how to nurture people, so things like maybe event-triggered marketing. So what it would be really good to do is to basically put together your own strategy within the community and different ways and suggestions that you can do this. So this is a great tool here. You've got measure, reach, encourage, convert, engage. So all your different things you're going to be doing, traffic metrics, etc. This is another slide that I'm going to upload into the community. This is a key aspect of digital planning and looking at obviously how you're going to use things. So do you have a BHAG for online channels? Well, basically this is a big, hairy, audacious goal. So what is it that you're looking to do? Let's explain your long-term vision, and should be aspirational, transformational, based on market insight, and linked through to your goals. So this is from the chairman of Orange. Unless a business like ours has a very simple, comprehensible and executable strategy, it is very hard not only to get the buy-in from the team, but it's even harder to get it executed. This is so true in businesses. Make sure you don't use any buzzwords in that strategy, especially in our industry, and don't use techno-geeky stuff that we're all enamored of. Now, what you're looking to do is when you put together a strategy and get buy-in from your team, it's got to be simple, it's got to be straightforward, it's got to have really easy way of understanding of obviously what you're going to be doing. So we've got objectives and measurement side of things. So link objectives with strategies, tactics and measurement, track goals and analytics, create a performance dashboard, and things like a performance dashboard are things like Google Analytics, see how obviously you're doing. Facilitate an optimization culture, so test, learn, refine, and use soft measures to show how effective the customer experience is and define a long-term vision. So this is going to be the last section of today's diploma. Now, step 3, audit marketplace performance. Now, we've probably all seen one of these before. This is a SWOT analysis. So again, this is going to go into the community. This is a really, really useful tool. We've probably all looked at SWOT analysis to a certain degree, but this will allow you to really plow through the different aspects of your company. And this is a generic internet-specific SWOT analysis showing typical opportunities and threats presented by the internet. This is a really useful one to do for your business. The reason why is because once you start doing it for your own business, you'll understand all the different strategies. Now, what you've got here is the example digital strategies. We've got the organization. We've got all the different examples here. So this is a completed SWOT analysis, which will go into the community too. Have a read through and start looking at, obviously, how you can build on this example to do your own SWOT analysis. So basically, a situational analysis is looking at how effectively you're competing. But the things you need to take into consideration is we need to look at micro-environmental factors and macro-environmental factors. Micro being within the organization and macro being outside that influence. So when we look at things that are outside, we've got economic factors, legal constraints, cultural factors, we've got public opinion, moral constraints, ethical constraints, economic factors, legal constraints and cultural factors. We've got innovation and we've got trends. So these are all things that possibly are outside of our control that might impact on what we're looking to do. Within the organization, we can look at customers, we can look at our intermediaries, our competitors and our suppliers and look at how that all feeds in. Now, organizational e-marketing efficiency is going to be the central sort of focus. How can we make all of these factors work for us? Now, you need to do a situational analysis to see if there's going to be any macro environmental factors or micro that are going to affect what you want to do. So what I'd like to have a look at is the DEEPLIST for macro environmental. Which are most important for digital? So we've got things like demographic, economics, environment, political, legal, information, social, and technology. Create an online marketplace map. This is a really, really useful tool here. Basically, this is how your sort of online marketplace is set up. Now, this is a great slide to really show how people are interacting. So when we look at things like your customer journey, and we look at different influences and things like your online value proposition, this is a great way of working through. So purpose of mapping is to identify your main marketplace actors, relative importance, relative visibility in marketplace given different customer journeys, intermediary flows to different types of intermediaries. We need to look at different search types, generic search, product-specific search, brand search. We need to search for intermediaries. How are they looking at how your products are on the intermediaries? Intermediaries and media sites, so looking at where your business is mentioned, where your product services are, where your industry keywords are, etc. Destination sites, so are they coming to your site? Are they going on to your social networking sites? Are they going on to competitors? Where is your online value proposition positioning you? How do you fit? So this is a great way of kind of starting off and looking at customer segments. And one of the things, as we said, is looking at the different personas. So create personas for key audiences. So you've got existing versus new, web savvy, non-web savvy, demographic segmentation, the life cycle, and the psychographic segmentation. So what I'll do is I'll put this slide on there too. So these are great tools to start working through and seeing how your business is going to be evolving into your marketing plan. What are you going to be doing and how are you going to be doing it? So benchmarking and competitors is really important. So reach effectiveness. So reviewing site popularity versus yours, using things like Alexa. Search marketing effectiveness, so looking at where you are currently positioned versus your competitors. What's happening on your social media sites for your competitors? What are they doing in terms of display advertising? Have they got affiliate schemes? Have you got affiliate schemes? And these are three really good tools that I'd like you to kind of engage with. Go and have a look at these articles here. These are on the Smart Insights website. You'll know that Dave Chafee is one of your writers of books for the syllabus. These three links here I'm going to put into the community too, so you can have a click through. So we're going to leave off there, and we're going to finish Module 2 next week. So thank you for listening, and I'm just going to end the recording now.